Hey everybody, it's Brandon here and welcome to the channel. In this video I will be talking about fighting games in the modern gaming landscape. Before we begin, let's talk about modern gaming. What is that? What's that term? Typically when used, it's not used in a positive sense. It's not used in like it's kind of used in like a kind of attitude and expression and of concern and frustration and annoyance. And the reasoning for it is because of microtransactions. It's because that it just seems that these games are coming out and they don't feel like they're earning their $70 price tag or whatever price tag might be on it. And there's chasing of trends and it's just annoying. And especially in recent, there's been games that have been coming out, have been in development for a very long time, just for them to come out and they feel like they just missed the mark. They just came out at the wrong time. They came out way too late, and it's overly ambitious games that just again missed the mark. A lot of disappointment, and there's a lot of games constantly coming out, so it's very competitive and people always playing the best new thing, the fun new thing, right? And it's all about clout and in aesthetics and means something. They look cool, right? And the gaming companies know that, so they are charging a pretty penny for bundles and skins and all, and we'll get into that for sure. But it's a lot. It's definitely a lot. It's more like a modern gaming world than an actual landscape. But fighting games is a specific genre. It's its own niche. It's its own thing. There's FPSs, there's MOBA, there's all these different type of genres, and the communities share some similarities, just kind of like with any fan base, but there's also drastic differences among them all too. Fighting games can be very off-putting for people because it's very straightforward. It's 1v1. It's a person in front of you, boom, go for it. And if button mashing doesn't get you the wins, then you're just gonna be like, well, I don't want to play this, and put it down, right? It's the classic mad cause bad. If you want to play stuff that makes them feel good, that makes them feel awesome, that they're having a good time at, and to be honest, I believe it's easier to cheat in a first-person shooter or even third-person shooter compared to a fighting game. You can cheese in a fighting game, but cheating is a whole other story, right? You can't hook up a Zem to help you out in freaking Street Fighter or something like that. But fighting games, they're awesome. They're wonderful. They're magical. I love them. If you are a follower of this channel for a while now, you see that most of my content involves around fighting games, and I talk about how fighting games inspired my graphic novel that I'm working on, titled Breath of Kin. I literally have fighting game graphic novels right here in front of me. These are two of my Mortal Kombat ones. There's the third volume is over there, and for Christmas I just got, thank you sister, for the Akuma comic graphic novel that I read. I'm going to do a review on later on in this channel. Got some fighting game Funko Pops, etc, etc. I've always loved it and I always enjoyed playing it, but I didn't play them as much because my friends and family that I'd play with weren't really about fighting games. In recent, with these modern games that have been coming out, like Guilty Gear, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Tekken, all that, I've been able to play a lot more with my friends and family. But yeah, that's really it. Even in college, I played a lot of Soul Calibur. So fighting games, they got a special place in my heart. And if you haven't tried them out, definitely pick one up. There's some great videos out there talking about just do it, right? Just pick up a game, whatever looks cool to you, try it out, and just show some, just push a little bit, just get into it. There's a little bit of a barrier, but get through it, and it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be a good time. A great game to do that is
hey there, I do this, never fear losing, and when I get up in the game, y'all keep improving. A real problem, but I solve them all facts proof. And if you think I'm gon' fold, then you talking fool. Yeah, y'all wanna win, let me spin, boy. I'm done inside, I'm super fly like I'm hanging off the ring.
Street Fighter 6.
Street Fighter 6 came out in the summer of 2023, and holy crap, they did such a good job with that game. Such a good job. But just opening it up, you'll see, look at that UI, look at everything that they have going on. There's so much intentionality and personality from the music, from the art, from the designs, from the UI. It's awesome. The character designs, the new characters they brought in, people making fan arts for them. Characters are a big part of a fighting game, and Street Fighter 6 does a really good job. They also try to try to get us as suckers. And one of my favorite Street Fighter characters not coming out until now, not that far, but at the time of Street Fighter 6, almost a whole year after it. I'm like, are you serious? So I played Street Fighter 6 for a little bit, fell off of it, and then I said, I'm coming back once Akuma's back, right? And that's a lot of people for a lot of different fighting games. Like, for example, Maximilian dude was talking about that for Mortal Kombat. Like, he's waiting for Takeda when it comes to Mortal Kombat 1. But Street Fighter 6 does a fantastic job earning that $70 price tag. Like, they do such a good job because of the content, all the modes that they got available, all the accessibility that they have, right? Such as like the modern controls. Like, you could just be someone who's just trying it out, like I said, just wants to pick up the game, and you can just have fun playing with modern controls, doing all the cool stuff, having a great time with it, really not really fully understanding the systems or like finding game sense type of things, and do pretty well. And yeah, and put it down and pick it back up whenever you feel like it. It's not really like a big story mode. It's kind of like a customization, custom character, introducing the rest of the roster kind of mode. But it's just an own fun little thing doing its own stuff, which I applaud them, because they use that stuff for the Battle Hub, which is a really cool online arcade space where you can do more than just play Street Fighter 6, but play other stuff too in there, and that's awesome. Like, that's what people want. That's what people's frustration is with modern gaming, is that there's games that come out and they're like, you know, especially if they're like, they have a fan base and a big community, and people get more disappointed and more passionately upset because they're like, yo, with all this technology, and it's all this compare and contrast. You're comparing the game from the previous iteration. You're comparing the game to the games coming out around it. When Baldur's Gate 3 came out, there was a whole bunch of people being salty online and other people praising it. And it's because, like, it did a phenomenal job. It earned its price tag. It did what it did. It earned its awards. Like, that's what it was. They just made a good game. But unfortunately, there's a lot of higher ups, corpos, and all that stuff that they just want money. And they're looking at what gives them the most money. And that's how they define success, is money, not the morale of their community, not the longevity of the game, but just how much money they can get off of that. And unfortunately, Street Fighter does have some really expensive skins, not even for like the characters you play on with multiplayer or in the tournaments, but for your custom character in the World Tour mode. And you're like, are you serious? So that's a little the online is phenomenal though, really good connection, and the game does something different in the sense of they don't really do a balance patch or update with how the characters play, buffs and nerfs, until like a whole year after. And that's one strategy. But then there's Mortal Kombat 1. See, Mortal Kombat 1, they buff and nerf and do all this stuff and mess with their games so quickly, and that was one of the big off-putting things for me. See, I'm a huge Mortal Kombat fan. I grew up on that more than the other games. I did play Tekken, I did play Dead or Alive, yada yada yada. I play these other games, but Mortal Kombat was the one I just like a lot. I really am intrigued by the lore, and a lot of people are. Like, Mortal Kombat does a great job with their stories. MK9 is so good how they went about that. MKX is great. MK11 is great in its own way, and that's the thing. People are gonna compare MK1 all the way to X, 11, 9. You know, they're gonna make that comparison, and they're also gonna compare it with the games that came out around the same time. See, in the fall, MK1 came out, but they had to come out after Street Fighter 6. So there's a lot of hype around Mortal Kombat 1, a ton of hype for it. I was hyped, got multiple videos I made on it on the channel. But look at this menu. Look at these options. It's bare bones. It's kind of lackluster. It's disappointing. The gameplay is great. Street Fighter 6 gameplay is great. MK1's gameplay is great. But it felt like MK1 kind of got figured out quickly, and cameos were the real star of the game, those assists. And there's people who said, yo, I don't want cameos, I just want a good old-fashioned 1v1. And people feel like you just kind of stripped away these characters from their skills and abilities and moves that they had in previous games, and it kind of gets annoying which is because Mortal Kombat is not a legacy fighter. Yeah, Scorpion will have his spear, Sub-Zero will have his ice ball, but the way they operate, it could be very differently in each game, and then their base moves are very different, unlike legacy fighters like Street Fighter 6 and Tekken 8. And so unfortunately, Mortal Kombat's, like, the way they go about making their games and how they release them, it bit them in the butt. Like, it really messed them up, because they have to make a whole new move list, a whole new move set for every single character over and over and over again with every release, versus adding on, versus improving, versus tweaking, versus, okay, that plus the new fighting game gimmick thing that they're adding, which was cameos in this one, right? And so it just, I'm sorry, but the story, phenomenal. Loved it. Invasions, not so much. It's missing some quality of life features, and that's the thing, that's the frustrating thing. MK1's missing a ton of quality of life things from launch. And then I follow a whole bunch of YouTubers that were talking about Mortal Kombat, and the talk now is MK1 dead? Is MK1 dead? MK1 is dying. Mortal Kombat YouTubers are playing Tekken 8 and doing Tekken 8 content because MK is doing crap right now. And part of that could be Warner Brothers problems. Part of that is NetherRealm's problems. Part of that's the community problem. Like, they're all just, it's a cumulative. Here's the word. I'm not going to say that word. There it is. An effort of all of them coming together, and it just kind of makes this bittersweet, unfortunate mess. And I wanted to do tournaments for Mortal Kombat 1. I did one online tournament. I was excited to get involved. But then they changed the gravity, and those air combos that I did with Scorpion, now it's like super weird. The person will just like fall right out of the sky super quickly, and I'm just like, what in the world is going on? And so it's like all that hard work I felt like was for nothing. I was like, come on. And Scorpion wasn't even a top character. I don't think he still is now. He's still not top, nowhere near the top. And I really had to put in work to get good, and I felt very limited, and I hate that feeling, which I feel a lot of people do. And so MK1 is sandwiched between Street Fighter 6, right? It's doing really good. DLC's coming out regularly. Boom, boom, boom. They had Rashid. They had, I can't remember her name, Aki. And then they got Ed coming out. And then Akuma, waiting for him. So excited. Mortal Kombat 1, they're delaying their releases of their DLC characters. They're delaying their releases of features that should have been out there from day one. And I'm not going to keep talking about this because there's a whole bunch of YouTubers talking about it that you can check out. People even come up with ideas of how to save the game, which is insane. And then you get Tekken 8. Holy crap. I will talk for hours about how awesome Tekken 8 is. Tekken 8 is so freaking good. So good of a game. I love it. I'm like, I can play this game for hours, and I don't need any of my friends or family members on to be playing with them. I don't. Like, they got a story mode, right? Like a legit story mode that is just, it's insane in all the right ways. Super nostalgic. They hit nostalgia and refreshing at the same time. See, because Mortal Kombat story mode, you fight and then cutscene. Fight and then cutscene. Fight and then cutscene. You're like, okay, well, that makes sense. It's a fighting game. Hold on. Tekken 8, what they do is, in the fight, there are these cinematic moments and dialogues of the characters that tie to the story. Certain characters lose moves because of the situation that's happening right there in the story, and gain moves because of that. And then they do this, without spoiling, the gameplay changes at one point for a specific thing, referencing back to an earlier gameplay style for story and other modes that Tekken had in the past. The music, holy crap, the music. They have a jukebox thing where you literally can choose music for any stage in the game, from Tekken 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, Tekken Tag 1, 2, and more. You can choose for when it starts, and then when the fight gets climactic and epic. You can choose your songs for character select, and you can just make playlists. So you're like, I only want to listen to Tekken 3 music. Make a Tekken 3 playlist. Okay, I only want to listen to Tekken Tag. Make a Tekken Tag one. You can mix them up. Oh my goodness. Mortal Kombat can do that. But they don't. They haven't. They didn't do that. Mortal Kombat Armageddon has some of the craziest customization. Now we got some lackluster stuff that's worse than MK11. But in Tekken 8, granted, it's not as good as Tekken 7, but it's still better than Mortal Kombat right now. It's still doing pretty good compared to again, it's the comparison to the other games. It's expectation and reality. And everything in between expectation and reality, that is called disappointment. Or it's like hype. So Tekken 8 has a whole bunch of modes. Good mode. Super Ghost Battle is insane. The technology of that, like, there's an AI that learns how you play. You can train your AI, and therefore your friends can fight your ghost to know how it is to fight you before they fight you. What? The creator of Harada's in the game in the Super Ghost Battle thing where you can like unlock stuff. Like, there's a lot that you can do to unlock. There's a lot of customization, like even the little like health bars and title stuff. Like, bro, if that's $70 and Mortal Kombat $70, Street Fighter $70, like, come on, you know what I'm saying? And that's the problem with modern gaming. It's just that's the issue, is that there's games, there's companies, there's teams that put a lot of heart, passion, and soul when they make a game, and we're eating good, and then there are games that unfortunately through weird leadership or whatever, a lot of things that we can't see behind closed doors, come out like this, and it's very disappointing. And so the big three, even just look at just do a quick Google search, you'll see the different ratings of each one. And then right now Street Fighter and Tekken both have 9 out of 10, while Mortal Kombat 7 out of 10. And it makes sense. It makes perfect sense. Like, I eventually want to make an indie fighting game based off the graphic novel I'm working on, and I want to make it like similar to Street Fighter Alpha 2 and Street Fighter Third Strike. But there's a lot of like modern mechanics and customizations and quality of life stuff that I want to put in the game. And when Tekken 8 came out, I was like, there's no point in me making an indie fighting game. This game is literally everything I would want in my fighting game. Like, it's just insane. And it's been like about a month since Tekken 8's come out. So you can argue I'm still in the honeymoon phase, but I'm not. I beat the story mode. I want to get all the achievements for it. I didn't say that for Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter. Granted, everyone has their own taste. Like, they do. I get that. But, you know, like I said, like, I want to climb up the ranks in Tekken. I'm having so much fun with one character, learning and developing and getting better and better, and learning how to make better combo strings. Like, there's a lot to it to try to figure out. Like, there's so much, and there's a big roster with great characters, right? Mortal Kombat graphically looks so good. It looks really, really good. All these games look beautiful, but the personality is so much more richer in Street Fighter and in Tekken. And I know, because like I'm literally like making these videos breaking down the character design for Mortal Kombat, and they do really good, and then they miss. And like, that's the thing, the microtransactions. Holy freaking crap! Mortal Kombat's microtransactions, they like $10 for a fatality, bro. Are you serious? And then the skins that are not even 100% accurate to what they're supposed to be, Deadly Alliance skins, when they're not fully the Deadly Alliance skin. Like, what are you doing? Like, come on, man. And MK1 does some things really, really good, and then there's some things that are just like, ugh. And then over time, you start noticing more and more and more. Like, ugh. Like Tekken 8, over time, you're going to see things. I'm going to see things. I'm going to be like, okay, you know, whatever. But I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. So that's why I'm here. I just wanted to make this video talking about all three of those different games and talk about, like, this is good for Mortal Kombat. Hopefully they learn from this and they do. I don't think they can save the game. I don't think they're going to put energy and effort and funds. I don't think WWE cares about it, because they got their money. They made more money than Street Fighter. Like, it is what it is. Like I said, that's how they measure success. But hopefully the next game that they do, NetherRealm does, or if it is NetherRealm that does Mortal Kombat or whatever that looks like they learn. They learn. That's all we can hope for the people who create the things that we love to consume, is that they learn and they improve, and the competitiveness helps each other get better. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So with that being said, I hope and pray you're all doing well. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Thank you so much for staying this long and checking out the video. Check out my other videos. If you like fighting as much as I do, I got Art of the Fight Scene shorts that you can go and check out. And yeah, with that being said, take it easy and Godspeed. All right, real quick, had to interrupt myself because I totally forgot. I have an Easter egg in this thumbnail. If you can find the Easter egg, I will shout you out in the next video, because shout out to John Pizarro for catching the Easter egg in my last video. I really appreciate it. And yeah, so good job, and open up your eyes, guys. Take a screenshot of this and see if you can figure it out.